Welcome to issue 334 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at the most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes, intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Maka, and joining me tonight is Josh. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Mega. Feeling I'd be doing a lot better if I was on my way to the great state of Minnesota to attend Con of Heroes, but unfortunately that was not in the cards. So it's in Minnesota, right? Montana?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota.
I will
One
miss
of
you
them.
there.
One of them casserole countries.
And also joining us, minions on the cast tonight, is one of our villainous overlords, Scott. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well enough, you know. I am also with Josh, not on my way to Villain Con, but you know, we make do. We make do. When life serves us lemons, we harness the acid and douse it on our enemies.
I was going to
Nothing
say
burns like citric acid.
I was going to say we get together in an impromptu podcast episode and whine about it, but I like yours better.
That's right. That's right. We do a little bit of both. We got to whine while we're extracting all that acid out of these lemons.
Wait, I thought this was just we were just getting together to badmouth the other bosses.
Yeah, a little bit of that too. You know, it's been a long time coming. We've worked very, very hard to finally get a minion at the villain table, and no, things aren't happening yet. List chaps are now considered authorized uniform for the minionry, and we've also upped our budget for harpoon and harpoon accessories. So,
baby,
you know, those are in there. Josh, we do now have a conch budget for at least 2 conchs. So you no longer have to violate Esteban and travel down to the south in order to retrieve our conchs. I mean, you can do it for fun, but it's no longer required.
I'm going to violate Esteban regardless, just for the hell of it. But you do know how much I love a big conch. So
that's right. I know you do. It's one of our favorite things.
On that disturbing note, Scott, since you're here, man in the fort for the villains, I gotta ask you, what's on your mind tonight?
Thank you for asking, Chris. I never get asked that, and it's just such a delight to finally be the recipient of this question. So, on my mind tonight is the fact that Con of Heroes is coming. And you all listeners are probably not thinking about that because this was a thought that you had weeks ago. But for those of us who are living right here in the now, Con of Heroes is coming. And not all of us can be there. And unfortunately, many of you maybe could not be there. But this is my chance to get some of that good old con time connection, right? I think we all have a number of friends out there in the community that we're not going to get to see and that we might be missing in the weekend ahead. Mostly, I am looking forward to a slew of wonderful stories coming out of the con. There's always excellent stories on that con recap episode that is bound to happen in like every podcast and show about Marvel Champions. So many of you will have already heard those episodes, and this will be like a flashback to the pre-con times.
I am not wishing them a happy con. I am violently jealous, and I hope that they all get seasick from bad takoyaki balls.
Yeah, I did make arrangements for more takoyaki to be delivered, especially to Steve while he's there. I think we're going to find a way to slip it into his food surreptitiously to make sure that he enjoys those octopus balls as frequently as possible.
I hope every single one of their Tamagotchis goes bad.
I mean, I will admit I will be there, so I am happy to try to poison him any chance I get. I mean, deliver him food to make sure that he is eating healthily and properly over the course of the convention.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say,
like, if he actually gets food poisoning again,
it's terrible.
Here, we plotted on poisoning Steve.
He will never go back to Con of Heroes again if that happens.
God,
I'm sure that he's going to be hungry when he gets off the plane. You could probably have some food waiting for him. I think that would be really great and a really nice minion thing to do for your villainous overlord. And he'll be so hungry he won't even be thinking about what he's eating.
Absolutely.
Get
Get some gas station
real-
sushi.
some gas
That's
station
right.
sushi. It's been sitting on the dashboard of the car for a couple.
It's
Here you
supposed to
go.
be 80 degrees in Minneapolis, so that'll be the perfect refrigeration conditions.
Good Lord.
It's fresh. It's right off the hands of the sushi chef down at the 7-Eleven.
I'll be honest. So that's why he's the leader, because he's brave and just has reckless abandon and the survival instincts of a block of wood.
That's right. Mhm.
That's the man I
Yes.
want to follow into battle.
That's right. And
God is
ideally cling to him as you are carried away in the ocean. Well, let's tonight we're not here to talk about Steve. And we're not even here to talk about Con of Heroes. We're here to talk about you, the elite minions. We've heard a little bit about you when you've been on the show. Usually the first time y'all come on the show, we get a little spiel, right, of how long you've been playing, when you got into the game, whether you read comics or not, when you started reading comics, that sort of thing. But there are a lot of burning questions that we ask a lot of the other people on the show, and we've never asked you. So I think it's time we got to know you just a little bit better.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to have my depths plumbed.
Was that why?
Plumbed.
Is that why you gave us the shot before we came on here? Truth serum?
That's right. That was indeed a truth serum. It was intended to open your inhibitions a little bit as well, and to really get you to open up to the vast audiences of the show, those inner workings of your mind, those things that you would not share even with your own conscience.
I'm already wearing pantsless chaps. I don't know how much more open and inhibition free you want to get.
We were looking more for a metaphorical bareness, but your physical bareness.
Wait, Daniel's chair is really comfortable.
It is offensive. I just want to make sure that you take a turn on both Daniel's and Steve's chairs.
I thought that shot was an anti-syphilitic.
Well, that's what we told you, but I'm sorry, Josh, but it's way too late for that for you.
Well, it's all right. I've developed natural immunity.
You have. You're developing a certain strain of the virus that we intend to unleash on others.
It's like being bit by a snake, and then the poison's not as effective anymore.
That's right.
You get it so much, it's basically a cold.
Yes. You're used to it.
God, it's good to be.
Well, tell me, gentlemen, you've been around for a long time. So let's, and I don't say that because you're old. Bill's not here. We can't use that joke. But I do say that in the sense that you have been staples on the show for an incredibly long period of time. I think your voices are fairly synonymous with the show. But I'd like to know a little bit more about you when you play the game. So you're here. We talk lore. We talk, who these villains are and their encounter sets and all this. But when you sit down and play the game, what hero most often is hitting the table? What opponent do you find to be the greatest challenge? What hero's strength just inspires you? Look, much like Batroc is inspired by Captain America, right? To truly be your best villain, you want to see a good hero on the table. So I want to know, who are your top 3 heroes? And what makes them your favorite? Really, what about them do you feel brings out the best in you? Let's start with you, Josh. I want to hear, who are your top 3 heroes to play?
We want to do. I play a ton of heroes. I do. I own everything, so I want to play with everything. And what I tend to try to do is I'll have about 10 decks, a couple in each aspect with a few extras of one, build at any time, and then after I do that for a couple months, play those for a couple months, 2-3 months, I'll swap everything up. Some more give or take, right? And that way I try to cycle through my heroes. But I do have favorites. And I have to do that cycling because I will find myself coming back to the same few heroes. My top 3, Captain America, for one. I've said this on the show before. I'll say it again. I have more pictures of Captain America in my house than I do of my children. Captain America is my favorite hero. I'm so glad that I like his playstyle. It's a jack of all trades, kind of a good at everything, a master of nothing, just a good all around hero. Pairs well with any aspect. Has a lot of synergy with the Avengers trait. Has some synergy with the new Soldier trait stuff. Shield, like he's just a good hero. It's just continually getting better. Love playing Captain America so much. My second favorite is probably Colossus.
Mhm.
I love Colossus. While Captain America's a hero I'll play in any aspect, Colossus I really only play in protection or leadership. I've played aggression Colossus, and I liked it, but it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. I'm not really that much of an aggression fan, period, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I love Colossus's kit. I love how if how you can play with that, and you can do some really wild things with his stuff, and it feels really good when you get that set up. Now he has some key parts of his kit that need to be on the table to really make him sing, but there's a lot of tech for that in the game now for getting that stuff out, for kind of tutoring that stuff out and getting his upgrades out, getting his Iron Will and his the strength. Lord, I can't remember the upgrade that gives him
titanium
resources.
strength or whatever.
Titanium strength. Yeah, titanium muscles.
Yeah, that's what his muscles. That's what.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you enjoy playing him more now than when he first came out?
No, I've loved him from the time he came out. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed Clay. It was wild to me seeing some of the takes when he first came out of people going, he's just bad. I don't like him. I think it was just people playing him wrong and trying to sit on toughs too much and not utilizing those as too strong a resource, or being, I don't know if they were being overly liberal with spinning their toughs, or being underutilizing the toughs. I don't know what the issue was, but I've always loved Colossus, and he's a bit of a puzzle, but I love him. And then my third slot kind of fluctuates. So I have a top 5, but I'm only going to say 3, and it's just because my third slot fluctuates so much. But I'm going to throw Cable in there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I really only play Cable in Justice, and I just love him in multiplayer. I love bringing a Justice deck I brought it to Last Con of Heroes, where my sole purpose as Cable is not to do a ton of damage, not to solve a ton of problems, but to help the table, is to get those player side schemes out, fix those, and help everyone else get accelerated into their game plan and what they're doing. And I think he is one of the best heroes for that, hands down, to the point that he can be a little broken sometimes, especially in higher player count games with what he can do. He is phenomenal.
No, that's a good choice. I like that you pulled out some kind of all-arounders, and then that pocket multiplayer special, right?
Yeah. Most of my games now, I haven't played a solo Marvel Champions game in a long time, just because of time. I used to play a ton. I haven't played solo in I'd say a few months. So most of my games are multiplayer. So I like those heroes that excel at multiplayer. Colossus has the ability to protect for a lot of people, to block for a lot of people. Captain America can block as well as, reduce your allies' costs at the table. Cable is synergizing with those player side schemes and getting everybody's stuff set up, and he's benefiting from it as well. I love the heroes that excel in that.
Oh, that's great. I love that. And I have seen you play. You are very much a team player. You're like, oh, I'll block for you. I'll take that attack. Send that over here. It makes for a really fun, dynamic table game. I love it.
Thank you.
So, Chris, what about you? Who are your top 3 heroes to play, and why are they all Miss Marvel?
Well, no surprise, I think. First one on my list is Miss Marvel. Um, and the funny thing is, she did not jive with me the first few times I played her. And I think that's because they gave her just an awful protection pre-con deck.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel and protection is you'd need the right build, and it was so early in the game with such a limited card pool. It was a terrible pre-con. But once I figured out, I think some of it comes from the fact that I came over from Arkham Horror, the card game, and my class of choice over there is Survivor, who does all sorts of janky things. But one of the big things that their class does is card recursion. And that's what Miss Marvel excels at. She exhausts, you pull the card back, and you can play it
Mm-hmm.
again, and you can do all these recursion, fun little things with it. So she's just a lot of fun, and she if you do it right, you can get so much thwarting or damage, and she can do so much. And the other thing is, she with her persona supports, you want to be flipping down as often as possible, and I enjoy having being able to do that aspect of it of having something to drive me to flip down because so many times, especially if you're doing it in solo, there are games where it's like you flip down maybe once, but you're trying to stay in hero form as much as possible, whereas she wants to go down, and so she can take advantage of free card draw discounts, slapping cards under Bruno, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just so much fun, and again, you can do justice or aggression on her equally well, um, to do whatever role that's needed. My second one is Shadowcat. Shadowcat is
Ah,
ridiculously
okay.
strong, and she gets so many decision points between. So there are a handful, not a ton, but there are a handful of like, after you change forms, play this card and remove threat or do damage. Well, she changes form between phased and solid, and like I recently was playing an aggression deck with her, and it's you start out on phased, did a basic attack, and when you attack in phased, you're forced to change forms. And I had surprise attack in my hand, so change to solid, play surprise attack, 4 damage. Change which was an attack, so I chose to change back to flip. I had another surprise attack in my
Uh,
hand. Play. I had all three of them in my hand, so it was just punch, flip, punch, flip, punch, flip, punch, and just the crazy things that you can do with her. And then on top of that, um, if you put her in protection, she gets even more powerful because she doesn't take any damage when you defend in phased form. So you play a defense event while in phase form. I don't care who you are. You can be, level 3 Ronin with, 27 things on you. You can be Juggernaut with 87 momentum counters on you. I play Defiance and you get nothing on me.
yeah, it's pretty gross. She's crazy. Her ability to shut down damage by phasing through it
Yeah.
is incredibly strong.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have to
So,
plan out your turns a little bit, which I think drives people away from her, but she is really strong.
well, that's what I was going to ask is that part of what drives you to her? Is that she has that puzzle and that you have to kind of plan out your turns a little bit more and you feel like you have this sort of like reactive decision making. Oh, well, he's doing this, but then if I play this, it's going to flip me back and then I can take another defense with this card here and take even, not take damage again. Like, is that part of what makes
Mhm.
her so interesting?
Yeah, I think so. There are times where, you like your, fire and forget heroes where it's just they're strong, you just do the thing and you never have to really think about it. But I enjoy the ones that I need to kind of puzzle out my way through, which kind of actually leads to the third hero of mine. Josh, you and I share one. I got Colossus as number 3 on mine. Part of it is I grew
A
up in
man of
X-Men.
culture.
A man
I
of
grew up
culture.
an X-Men fan, so the mutant wave was what I wanted. Um, Wolverine was always my top hero, but Colossus and Nightcrawler were like 2 and 3, or 1B, 1C type thing. Always loved Colossus, and I really like his deck. And he's also a little bit of a puzzle. You got to build the right deck for him, and you got to understand how to play him. But once you figure him out, he's really strong and can do a lot of stuff. So, and then again, kind of like Shadowcat, because of the toughs, most of the time you can just ignore the villain's attack phase.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
work
it's
about what
phenomenal.
you're doing. So he's another great one. So those are my top 3 right now.
And you get
All right, I like
rewarded
it.
for it. You get rewarded for getting punched
Yeah.
in the mouth. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
get card draw.
That's true. Who doesn't want to get a reward for getting punched in the mouth?
You know how many times I've been punched in the mouth and not gotten rewarded for it?
If I had
Too
a
many
nickel
times.
for
Too
every
many
time I
times.
got punched in the mouth, I'd be like Colossus.
So nice. I have some matches there as well. Miss Marvel's up there for me. I think she's in my top 3 as well for similar reasons. Although I do like some of the more recent ones.
Wait.
I
Why are you answering? I thought this was about me and Micah.
Yeah, you
Hey,
ain't a
man,
minion no more.
You
I
ain't
am
a minion
allowed.
anymore, huh? Sitting up in
I
your sky high tower there, your deluxe apartment in the sky. You done moved on up.
I'm just trying to say, we share some interests. I'm a man of the people still.
All right, we'll allow it.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'm really not the hoi polloi as if. You filthy minions.
Pretty soon you're going to be quoting literature and poetry like Daniel. You've lost touch with your minion roots.
You all look like ants from up here.
Et tu, Brute. You do look like
What are you-
ants. Oh, I should
your favorite?
make you bigger on the screen.
Huh?
Or maybe
Okay.
not. Never mind. Those pantless chaps.
If your IKEA throne weren't so high up in the air, we'd look normal.
Your IKEA
well,
through.
when you achieve a level of greatness beyond others, it's important that you sit in that greatness in a way that represents the degree of your greatness. And I will not apologize for my greatness.
You're definitely full of sit.
But yeah, I all over the place. I love Miss Marvel, so I'm with you there, Mika. She's amazing. I've been really surprised with how good some of the newer heroes are. I think like Domino maybe is still in my top 3. I'm not really sure, but I've always loved her. She's in one of the, she's more in that mutant wave. But like Hercules, for example, something about him is just super fun. So there's been some ones that I'm like, man, they might break into my top and stay there for a while.
Is that?
But when you sit down to play your heroes,
Wait. Is that one of the questions? Who our favorite newest hero is? I think that's a
No.
pretty good. Who's our favorite like newest hero in the last like five or 6?
But I am curious. Out of the last wave, right? Since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Micah, who's yours? You go first.
Honestly, probably Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
He's more one of those that are a little bit more straightforward of one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's got a really good solid hero kit, and most of the time you're dealing with minions someplace, so he gets benefit for doing it.
Yeah.
What aspect do you like to play him in?
I mean, he shines in aggression, obviously. That's because that can, pull out minions and give you other bonuses for having all these enemies in front of you and stuff like that. So I think that's his top one. But you could, I think he's equally strong in all of them, because what does he get? He can do man on the wall and leadership, which is nice.
I think isn't that the aggression one?
Or is that the aggression one? What am I thinking of?
He can be Captain America, and he can he can be a mission leader.
Mission leader, that's the one I'm
cable
thinking
on it,
of.
but it's for soldiers.
Yeah. Yep. And Justice, you can easily do, and he can, especially in multiplayer, he can be dealing with the minions while pulling threat off schemes. So I think I haven't really tried to build like a super protection deck on him, but I can also see where that would work. When you're drawing an arm block, if you work on recurring that, because take no damage and do damage back if you're using your cybernetic arm. So, who do you like in the new wave, Josh?
So Winter Soldier's like, because I am a Captain America fanboy, obviously I love Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
I'm not like, I wasn't super thrilled with how he played when I played him. I like him, but it didn't catch me. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to play all these different Winter Soldier bits. He's probably in my top 15. But my favorite from the wave is, the other Captain America, Jason. You got Falcon.
Oh,
I
really?
love Falcon. And again, another like really, really powerful hero at a multiplayer table. Where I can kind of control the encounter deck. I can dictate who's getting what cards, what encounter cards with his aerial reconnaissance, I think is what it's called, or aerial. With his ability to take the top card of the encounter deck as an encounter card for himself. If you're able to, what I like to do is if you're able to grab some extras and just deal with a couple extras a few turns, we can have a turn where you just cancel all the encounter cards for that with those counters from his upgrade there, and
Yeah, that's sharp.
really have a wonderful time with no encounter cards. It's really, really nice. But I love him in leadership. I love turning him into Captain America, getting the extra defense. I love that he has built-in defend for the table.
Mm-hmm.
I just really, really jive with it. And I know, and again, that's another hero that I've seen a lot of people say, I don't really get Falcon. They don't really dig his play style and feel like he burns through encounter cards too quick or whatever. And I don't know. I don't get it. I love him. I will say that Wonder Man is an honorable mention for me. He, dude, he's fun.
Yeah, he is.
Holy cow,
He is.
he's fun.
He like flies. The stuff he does, I feel like you do like so many things in a turn. It's really weird, but so fun. I do like Wonder Man. I agree about Falcon though. I think the first time I played him, he didn't sing for me, but I played around with like how I wanted to build him and stuff, and now I've really enjoyed it. I think he does a lot of really cool stuff. I think he would be very fun to play at a table. I've not played him multiplayer, but the way you describe playing him, I'm like, yes, exactly. That's what he looks like. That's the fun of Falcon. It's just really cool. I think he's great. There's a number of cards too that play off of the discarding the top card of the deck.
Oh yeah,
that you can play into him. I mean, there's stuff like Cosmo that are like super broken, but even just stuff like the new Scarlet Witch card that came in Wonder Man's set, right? Where she discards the top card, and if it's a treachery, you deal it to yourself. But it's like if you're playing Falcon, you know it's not a treachery. So you just play her when the top card isn't a treachery, right? Like there's some stuff like that where you can really take advantage of some of the other cards that are out there that otherwise maybe feel like they have too heavy of a drawback. He's really cool like that.
yeah, I love him. Is he your favorite too, Scott?
No, I think Hercules is my favorite.
Mm.
He's just really fun. I think he's slow, right? I do not always like go hardcore for taking out all of his labors all at once. I'm a classics guy, right? Latin and ancient Greek. So I love Hercules for that. I love the way that they played off the Nemean Hydra as like Hydra. The way the cards are, the art, like there's just something really fun and striking. And once he gets rolling, he's just fun. Like looking at the art on his card, he's having fun. And that just makes me happy. So I just really like that. I like that he's enjoying what he's doing. It makes me feel like I should enjoy this too. I'm playing a game. I'm having fun, damn it. So I like that about him. But I've found a lot of the new heroes to be really striking. I don't have a lot of complaints about any of them. I've really enjoyed the most recent heroes. Design is just chef's kiss.
Have you played a lot of multiplayer Hercules?
No, none.
Really? And he's your favorite in solo?
Yes, in solo.
Dude, I could not do like solo Hercules I liked, but I just felt like I wasn't doing Hercules stuff. It was like, okay, like this is gonna be a crass analogy, but I was edging right as Hercules. It's like I never got to fully realize. I never got to release. It was always like build up, and then okay, I got to deal with the stuff that I have let build up while I'm trying to achieve, you know, what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to avoid saying the word climax.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
but
I am looking forward to seeing him in multiplayer because I've only tried him
he's
in solo either, and he seems less impressive in solo, but
yeah,
maybe I'm
I
just not playing him right.
I love him in multiplayer. Really, really love him in multiplayer. He can get bogged down sometimes though if you don't draw well or spend or if you brick a little bit, it can take a bit for that train to get going. And if somebody at the table isn't able to kind of pick up, the table has to pick up the slack for Hercules while he gets going.
Yeah.
But once he gets going, it is unreal. And there's been some really good fan decks on Marvel CDB for him to try to circumnavigate that slow start. Brian V's protection deck is it's a whole other level of gameplay. It's a different game of Marvel Champions, really.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing him in aggression with Smash the Problem and like all the attack upgrades. So like my
Mhm.
base attack is sitting at like 6 most of the time. So it's like if the threat is building up, it's like, oh, I can just smash the problem on that. And bring some of the heavier side schemes down really quickly, even when I can't use Wisdom of Athena because it's too expensive early on. That was kind of one of my play arounds because he has a lot of readies, right? You can run Limitless Stamina, and I run Earth's Mightiest Heroes with some Avenger allies, and I run, he has his Gift of Athena or whatever is the one that readies him. No, that's
Mhm.
Wisdom of Athena is his thwart.
With
Whichever
Gift of
one.
Zeus.
Gift of
Or
Zeus. That's
Son
what
of
it is.
Zeus.
Yes.
Son of Zeus.
Son of Zeus. Yes, thank you. That
Might be
readies
Gift
him.
of
So
Zeus. I don't know. It's one of the two. Something with
yeah,
Zeus.
something like that. Son of Zeus, I think sounds right. Anyway, so I think he's really fun. I don't think he's the strongest. I think Tigra by far is the strongest out of what we've gotten in the most recent set of waves. She was grotesquely strong. I played her a handful of times and I was like, this feels like I feel like I'm stomping all around children. Every time I get
I'm
her out,
bad.
it was a blowout.
I'm so bad with Tigra, dude. I can't figure her out. Like
Oh,
I
really?
always with Tigra, I feel like I'm creating problems and then I'm solving those problems and then I'm treading water. I'm
My
getting
experience
a ton
was
of minions on the table and I'm dealing with them, and then that's what I did. And all right, I'm gonna play with minions. You guys deal with the boss.
that's
This is all
funny.
I'm gonna do.
Well, again, I've only played solo. So for me, it was like there's minions out, and then I do a ton of damage to the villain while the minions are stunned and confused. And then I wipe them all out, and then I get new minions that are stunned and confused, and then I deal a ton of damage to the villain, and then the villain's dead. Like that was kind of how it worked for me. It was this very quick, like 4-turn system of like, yeah, I get the minions out, I use them basically, and then blow through them when they're going to do me damage, and then I'll just get more, just get that cracked or whatever her upgrade is.
Hey, quick,
What about
quick
you?
question.
Super
Quick,
fun. But enough about heroes. Let's talk about aspects. So we've talked a little bit about what heroes we like to play, and I think there's been some trends coming through. I think maybe there's some tendency to play a little bit of protection and leadership on one side. But let's talk about what your favorite aspect is, if you have to pick one. And I'd like to hear about what about the playstyle of that aspect do you connect with most. So take it away, Mega.
For me, honestly, I don't even know if I'll call it my favorite. Probably the most played, however, tends to be Justice. And I think that's because I usually play in solo most of the time. And so my most likely loss condition is going to be threading out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Justice allows me to, handle that while I'm building my board and doing other things or letting my hero my hero specific cards do whatever it is they're doing. And then a lot of times I will play it like at these conventions and stuff. I'll frequently offer to play um Justice decks because then, I'll build decks that can handle pretty much all the threat almost by themselves. So, you know what? You guys can do whatever it is you want to do. You want to be a super, Punchy do like 30 points in a single blow. Oh, fine, go ahead. You want to pull out minions? That's fine. Oh, you're doing crazy leadership shenanigans? Go for it. I'll deal with the messy cleanup, the unfun stuff. You guys go have fun.
So have you found that these days that's what you enjoy the most? Or is there an aspect that you actually prefer to play when you can because you like the rhythm of the play more? Or is it just
Well,
I've
it
settled
depends
into
on
Justice as the go-to?
honestly, it's completely hero dependent. I don't I the only aspect I pretty much will never play is pool. I detest pool.
Mm,
I'm glad they made Deadpool, and I'm glad they have the pool aspect. It's not my play style, and I don't like it. So I never play
fair.
pool.
And that's okay.
But
It's
oh,
okay for
exactly,
people to feel that
exactly.
way.
And I know lots of people
There's
love
no
it and
shade.
everything like that. Not my cup of tea, as the saying goes. But like Colossus works great in Colossus is great in protection mostly, where I like running him. Although Justice works well with him. Shadowcat, it tends to be either protection or justice. Miss Marvel is justice or aggression. Um, some of them like Cyclops, he gets allies, so leadership works great with him. Same thing with like Spectrum. Leadership tends to work pretty good in her as well. So it's kind of a hero dependent thing more than
Mm,
what's my
mhm.
play.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. What about you, Josh?
I got a mouthful of pretzels.
That's, I mean, that's a pretty good aspect right there, honestly.
That's my favorite aspect.
It's these
The
flips.
mouthful of pretzels.
Then my fat F came out of me. I saw these at the dollar store. It's Flips fried chocolatey sandwich cookie
Oh my
pretzels.
gosh.
They
Oh my
are
gosh.
they're amazing, and I just had a wild wave of deja vu. Holy crap! All right, neat. I've done this before. Okay, in a past life, this is probably where I had my first heart attack.
It's probably-
Okay,
Well, now we know it's
um,
coming.
my favorite aspect's leadership. I love Ally Swarm and Voltron. They're my two favorite ways to play the game. Close seconds protection, um, but leadership is hands down my favorite play style. I love getting the allies out there. I always, when I played Magic the Gathering, for the little bit I did, I played aggro decks that ran a ton of minions and beefed up those ton of monsters or whatever the hell you call them in Magic, um, and beefed them up to play. And so leadership just appeals to me. I really, really like it.
Is there something about the story that's going on there that like really
Kind
resonates
of, yeah.
specifically?
I
Like the general at the head of an army kind of feel, or like
Yeah,
the,
so what I tend to stray away from though with leadership is you'll see a lot of people on Marvel CD build these leadership decks that I try to make my leadership deck be very like tribal focused, right? So if I'm playing an Avengers hero, I want to include
Yeah.
Avengers characters or things that are thematic to that hero. You know, my Falcon Aerial my Falcon leadership deck is a aerial minion swarm
Mhm.
leadership deck that kind of leverages Cloud9 and whatever the hell the other one is to let
Arrow.
those allies, Arrow, Cloud9 and Arrow to, either thwart or attack either one with my wave of minions that I want to
Yeah.
use. And then I love Captain America in Leadership Swarm. I love Cyclops or Captain America in Avengers Swarm. I love Cyclops in X-Men Swarm. That 50 Shades of X-Men deck that was floating around Marvel series, one of my favorite decks that I've ever played. And then the Voltron style, I really like the story of, because again, Captain America is one of my favorite characters to play. So I built what I called my Civil War deck, and it was Captain America with the Iron Man hero, and this was back in the day. So I think Galaxy's Most Wanted was the only expansion we had at the time, just to beef up the Iron Man hero, and it was Captain America and Iron Man, throwing hands and throwing down.
Yeah.
I really, really loved it. I just love that style of it, and I try to be thematic with my minions. I don't just throw a minion into a leadership deck just because that's the strongest minion if it doesn't really match for me, because I love the theme of the game and I want it to be thematic.
I'm with you 100%. I have my cards sorted by tribes because I don't generally like playing the tribal cards where I'm like, hey, that's an X-Men card that goes in with the X-Men cards. So I'm with you. I agree. I love that. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. So obviously the heroes hit the table and they're going to have to play something. We talk about these mod sets all the time in the encounter sets. Who are your top 3 Marvel Champions villain/encounters, right, to play against? Who do you love most? Josh, take it away. Who do you love most besides me?
It's hard. This Sophie's choice, Lex. Don't make me choose between you and Mike. I don't know who to shoot.
I won't make you choose. You can have us all. Who are your favorite? What are your favorite encounters to take on?
How'd he get a gun? My top. So, my favorite villain to fight is probably Juggernaut, just because I like fighting Juggernaut, and I have a very specific way I like fighting Juggernaut, and I'll kind of piece that together as we go through the next few questions. Juggernaut's one of my favorite characters in Marvel. So when he finally got added into the game as a villain, it was awesome. I think he's the better Rhino.
Yeah.
So I really like Juggernaut. Second is probably Venom Goblin. Solely because of how unique the fight is. And I like the character is just cool. It's cool. It is the only villain that is unique to Marvel Champions. There is no Venom symbiote Norman Osborn in the comics.
That's true.
And so it's just cool. I just like it. I like playing against it. It's hard when you set it up as recommended, but you can kind of wean it down or beef it up if you want to. I really, really like him. And then third is it really just it's whoever kind of. It's third kind of fluctuates. Right now for me, my third favorite villain to play against is probably Ebony Maw, and just as a new player introduction, I like introducing new players to the game with Ebony Maw. I think he's a very good introductory villain.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think he is too. I've enjoyed that when he came out. He was my go-to for a long time for playtesting. I'm curious about Venom Goblin. What do you love that makes you one up against Venom Goblin over and over again? What about playing him? Because he's usually not people's top choice.
Well, I just told you, it's punishing. It is solely just the theme. I just think he's effing cool, man. I think
that's a good reason to play him.
I think he's so cool. that is 100%.
It's just 100%
my only justification for it. And I honestly I don't play him that much. I really don't. He's still one of my favorites to play against, but I don't play him that much because everyone else is like, no, I don't want to play Venom Goblin. I don't feel like, I could stand up and hammer punch myself in the crotch on my own time. Why would I do it while I'm trying to play Marvel? Right? Like, and it's an equivalent experience.
I think I've only ever played him multiplayer once. Kind of for that reason that people were like, I don't know if we want to take him on, but I actually really enjoy him too. I don't find him to be, depending on your build out of heroes, I don't find him to be the most challenging. He can be, depending on how you play. But
you're not taking 4 precons
no.
of just any heroes and taking down just regular setup Venom Goblin. It's not going to happen. He's going to out threat you. He's going to out damage you.
Yeah.
Do that. But if you have people that know what they're doing, and
he keeps things lively.
Yeah, you can beat him with moderately tooled decks. You don't have to have the best of the best. Now, if you're playing standard 2, expert 2 with everything and the Infinity Gauntlet and whatever else on it, maybe. Yeah. And you may want
Uh,
to bring the best of the best, but
that's
he
cool.
can
I love
he
that.
can be played around with.
I like that pick. What about you, Chris? What are your favorites? Who do you like to play? Who
Well, I
hits the
will say
table?
one thing that I found out during these questions is that Josh is apparently my brother from another mother. Because number one on mine is Josh.
Yeah. Hell yeah. A man of culture, I said. A
Oh
man of
yes,
culture, I said.
absolutely.
I see what's
Yeah.
going over
It's
here.
just a fun
Bromance
design.
begun.
It's just a fun design, and when he gets a head of steam on him, and I know that's one of his cars, but just momentum counters, extra activation or something, and just rolls over you. I mean, a lot of times I will try not to take his helmet off just because it's more fun that way.
It's
So
a fun way to
second,
play.
yeah, so my second one, I like the Sinister Six. So
Ooh.
I do enjoy the multi-villain scenarios, and I think that one's just different where it's, it's a different win condition of you got to remove threat from this side scheme. And these guys keep coming out all the time and their treacheries and other things that bring them out and they activate. And I just think it's a fun scenario with a lot of different things going on. So I enjoy that one. And then for third, I'm gonna go old school and stay Claw. Even after, what is this, like 5 or 6 years or something like that, Claw is still strong, and because he is so dependent on the modular sets that you put in him, um, you can change his difficulty level, throw in
Mm-hmm,
stuff,
mm-hmm.
a lot of boost, a lot of boost effects on it, and, he ratchets up a notch. Um or put stuff in there that get 3 and 4 boost icons on there. Oh, that's he's hitting for 6 or 7 on you. You know, and so he a lot of times will still be the one that test decks against.
But yeah, okay. So that's interesting. I like that, Chris. I like your pick of uh, Claw in there. And Juggernaut, obviously. I think a lot of people love Juggernaut, especially the cultured, mindful individuals in the community. What's not to love about? He really is like a better round and just a lot of fun to see play. Um, what was your second?
Sinister Six. Get all those Spider-Man villain out there.
Sinister. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
curious. So what? I'm curious about that one because when you said it, I was surprised. I don't hear that very often. Is it that?
A- Again, it's just
Is it just theme or is it like because there's also the escape mechanic in that one, right?
right. It's
That's
I
different. The way
enjoy the
you played is
different.
different.
Right. I enjoy the different win condition of you got to deal with the side scheme. But while that's going on, you got all these villains constantly popping out and hitting you and doing things to you. So,
It's really dynamic, right?
mhm. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and it scales nicely with the more players, more villains start coming out. Whereas, solo, you only start, I think, with 1 or 2. I think you start with 2 or something like that, and so it's a different scenario, and I appreciate that. I know they've got some other ones like the Collector too, and there's also other multiplayer ones like Four Horsemen and Tower Defense and stuff like that. But I just like Sinister Six. It's enjoyable.
Cool. I love that. That's a great choice. A great shot. So, given that sometimes we come back to the same heroes or the same villains again and again to play. I know I have my favorites that I like to circle back around to. All right, you can throw in really any mod set with him because he really pulls on the boost effects and stuff in those mod sets.
Mhm.
What are your 3 top mod sets to cycle into a villain when you're looking for some variety?
Well, for me, one of my first ones that I like going throwing in is Savage Land, just because there are dinosaurs in it.
It's
Why,
so
why
true.
wouldn't why wouldn't you
It's so
want
fun.
dinosaurs in the game?
Seriously.
Oh, Micah, you can't wait. Bet you can't wait to hear mine.
So another one I like to put in, even though it can be brutal, is Mystique. Because adding the shapeshifter cards to your deck, kind of like
Oh,
Mysterio in a little
yeah.
bit, but Mystique is such she's a tough one, elite minion out there. When she comes out, she is obnoxious to deal with. So
She is.
that's a fun one. And then a lot of times, I'm looking for a bit of a challenge. Get some minions in there. Iron Spider, Sinister Six.
Ooh.
There are good boost
Those are some tough
icons
ones.
there. There's some, beefy minions in there that you got to deal with. So those are ones that find their way into my games a lot. When I'm not just doing the random wheel encounter sets.
Good. I love that. So you're taking your difficulty level up. When you're cycling your mod sets in, you're taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? What do you like to bring in? Those are good ones.
Savage Lands.
Yeah.
Savage
With dinosaurs and
Did we just
falling
become best friends?
George.
We've been best friends
You
forever.
did.
When you were describing it, like, I'm gonna be honest, for a moment you took the form of a unicorn. It's, Savage Lands, Sauron, and Armadillo.
Oh, I love all three of those. They're great.
Uh,
What do you love about them,
Sauron
Josh?
Savage Lands because it's effing dinosaurs. I mean, the temporal's up
No.
there too because of the T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll take the T-Rex out of temporal and put it in the Savage Lands.
Mhm.
Just pretend it has the Raptors
It's where it belongs.
special ability.
He was meant to be there.
So my favorite like scenario to play is Juggernaut with Savage Lands and Sauron. It's fighting Juggernaut and Savage Lands.
I love that.
I love it so much. But I like dinosaurs. I like Sauron. I was a big dinosaur kid. It's probably
Mhm.
something undiagnosed there. It was either dinosaurs or Thomas the Tank Engine, and I went to dinosaurs. And
Me too.
and Armadillo is just really cool. I like the theme of just throwing toughs out, and I like the art on the pack. Armadillo and Sauron and Savage Lands are my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite dinosaur as a kid was the Ankylosaurus, which
That's
kind of
my
looks like
favorite
armadillo.
dinosaur.
No shit. Are you
I swear
serious?
to God, it's pronounced Ankylosaurus, but that's okay. You did
Sorry.
your best.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that's my
I
favorite
failed.
dinosaur too.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
God
So
Almighty,
armadillo,
are we gonna kiss? Like, are all three of us gonna kiss?
think we might.
Like, what is? Huh?
I
What are we
mean,
doing here? We just cut the podcast off, guys. Let's just stop
move in
recording.
together. I'll let my
Stop
wife. I'll let
recording.
my wife know when she gets home that
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm leaving her for the podcast.
Guess
For
you wanna
two other
go on
men.
Go on a fishing boat together or something. Let's go camping.
Yeah, let's go.
Do something.
Oh, I love it. No, yeah. So armadillo, I love armadillo for that reason because he reminds me of that. It feels like I'm like, yeah, he feels like a dinosaur. He's like this big armadillo guy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's very like core, like Spider-Man style hero. Like some of the hero or minion, right? Some of these like villains and stuff, they're like super elaborate. But
Mhm.
growing up to me, like a villain was like the lizard, right? It was
Yeah.
Green Goblin. It was Rhino. It was these like weird, misshapen, monstrous type of characters.
I'm sorry.
And
I have to I gotta add in a caveat. It is a tie between Armadillo and A Mess of Things because Scorpion is also
good one, Scorpion.
my
Mhm.
favorite. Sorry, I didn't mean
I'll
to
allow
interrupt
it.
you. Throw that in before I forgot.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, great. I love that. Good throwouts. Good throwouts. Love those. All of those mod sets. Mystique is also fantastic. Not enough female, if you consider her female, villains and stuff out there. So she's a great one to include too.
Yeah. This is fun.
This is fun. It's a good chat.
Having a
Let's
good
talk
time.
campaigns. Let's talk campaigns. This
Do
is like a maybe more contentious. We can get a little more in the contentious space, really rile people up. I know how much we love doing that. Let's talk about campaign boxes. What is your favorite campaign box? And something about it that you love that might convince someone else to give it a try if they've been sleeping on it. I'm going to have Josh, you tell me first. What's your favorite campaign box?
Mine is definitely not being slept on. It is Rise of Red Skull. Is my favorite. Just because it was the OG. It set the tone for what a campaign in Marvel Champions was. I think it was the one that did campaign rewards the best. Really, out of every single other one, maybe Next Generation might have been a little better as far as the rewards and how it handed them out. But there was just something really nice about the simplicity of how Rise of Red Skull did its campaign rewards. It was just, you beat this, you get this.
Yes, I do agree. The simplicity is awesome.
I didn't have to have a table to track stuff. I didn't have to have, I didn't sit and try to figure out if this, then that, so this, so that. I didn't have a big pool of stuff to track. It was just really, really nice in its simplicity. And also it's Captain America's Rogues Gallery. So
yeah.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. It might have the sleeper, but it's not getting slept on. That one I think by far stands out among people as being the go-to recommendation for campaign boxes. I will concur with that.
That was really clever. That was good. I like that. See, Micah, this is why they gave him the chair.
Yeah, I gotta
We're
admit,
not doing that.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I'm making big conk jokes and asking if we want to kiss. He's doing the hard thinking here.
He's subtle wordplay.
Yeah. See, I couldn't
I'm in for
figure out subtle wordplay.
Hey, and all I'm doing is sitting in Daniel's chair with pantless chaps. So I understand why they chose him over
the Lord's work.
You got to cross your legs, man. I can see all of it.
Do you need another bowl of beans? We want to make sure you leave something behind for him. Speaking of leaving something behind, what campaign box would you leave behind, Chris, for somebody else to play because it's so good?
All right, that was a bit of a stretch. That one was.
I found my way there.
Eventually, yeah. All right, so I gave the slight edge to Mutant Genesis. It just beat out Sinister Motives. And I'm sure it's because I'm a X-Men fanboy from back in the day, reading it, all the time. So, and I do enjoy it. I think it's a good set. We've got a good multi-villain scenario with the attack on the mansion. Magneto is, for my money, one of the best campaign ending scenarios out there. And I think it's nice and easy to bring people in because it mirrors a lot of either the comic stories or even the cartoon, the 97 cartoon, which I know was huge for a lot of people. So it's easy to bring, you're in the mall and you get Jubilee, and now look, Sentinels, and there's Sabretooth and Senator Kelly, and and Magneto and Asteroid M and all that. But I think and I enjoy the campaign as a whole as well. So between story, theme, that it's hitting me in the X-Men mutant nostalgia box, and it just plays well.
It's got the trifecta in that sense. I do agree. It's solid all around, right? It's hitting all 3 points heavy. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect on that one. I think it's also, it does kind of, it feels like the first time again, kind of, right? Because you're starting new with the mutants. When it came out anyway, for me, it's kind of like, it was almost like the game was like reinvented all of a sudden with that box. We had mutants now, and everything was new with mutants. So it has that kind of, it's like getting your first time again, so to speak. So do you play the campaigns or just the villain sets when you play through? What's your go-to?
Nowadays, it tends to be just the villains, just because of time perspective. It's a lot easier for me to just do one-off games. But I do enjoy the campaigns, and I do like going back to them every now and then.
Do you get through campaigns very often as a multiplayer game, or do you mostly play them solo? Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Oh, you're good.
I
I was just
am
going
most
to add on to what Mac has said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mostly just do solo these days. Occasionally I'll do like two-handed solo, but it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be just single player solo.
mm-hmm. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, we always play the campaign at least once. At our Marvel Champions nights at the FLGS down at the gaming company. Shout out to the gaming company in Pikeville, Kentucky.
Yeah, shout out to the gaming company.
Yeah.
And all those boys, there's a few of them listening, probably at some point. But yeah, we always try to play each campaign once. I don't go back to them a ton, just because because we have a large group of people that show up. I always like to play with new people, or I try to play with new people when I can. And so, that kind of tends to not lend itself to campaign play, because usually, we have every now and then a group will come and they'll be like, we're going to run through Galaxy's Most Wanted. And that's what those 4 people are doing for the next like 5 weeks.
Right.
They're doing Galaxy's Most Wanted. And whereas every now and then I may jump in if they have a guy out, or someone else would jump in if they have somebody out. I like the solo, the standalone villain fights. And some nights I may be feeling this villain or that villain. And, because we tend to play like one game an evening, because we usually have 4-player tables, and that we go from like 5 to 8:30 ish. We just play the whatever is there for the night, whatever people want to play. Right? We don't kind of lock ourselves into a campaign. Yeah. I always play it once just to see how it goes. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like that's when I was playing for a long time. I played campaign like 50% of the time. That was like my go-to way to play. I like the stories that they tell, and so I liked like playing through the story. And I would still swap out mod sets and stuff and vary them up a lot of times, but I still like played through the campaign with the core stuff, and often with the rewards. These days, I don't find myself doing that as much. I think part of it may be because Civil War didn't come with a campaign, but also kind of like you were saying, that the time constraints, it's getting harder for me to make the space to be able to like play all the way through a campaign, and like without having to tear everything down and set it back up again repeatedly, losing my progress. And I don't get to play a lot of multiplayer. I think campaign's hard to play in multiplayer. To your point though, Josh, it is much more of a feat to like get a group together and play through a campaign. You probably can't do it in one sitting. It's going to take multiple sittings, and there's a bit more to it that I guess doesn't have the same draw that it used to.
We do not beholden any of our players to have to play the same character every time. We don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That way. Yeah, I'm not playing the same character 5 weeks in a row. There's 60, going on 70 characters in this game. I'm not doing that. And no shit.
I have found that I do that too. That if I'm playing through, I'll be like, you know what? I'll play the first 2 with this hero, and then I'm going to swap and play a different hero with a totally different aspect and deck. And sometimes I just pretend like they were like part of a team all along, and they're swapping in and out. I do that at Earthborn Rangers too. I'll have like a team that I swap between. It's more fun to me that way. I'm varying up the heroes.
You play Earthborn Rangers too? We got to get together and
I know we do.
Together and kiss over the game.
That's right. I want to get set up with my rig so that I can do camera shots. So if you ever wanted to like do 2-player with camera and stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
That's an aside. We're not talking EBR. We're talking Marvel. So going back to game group, game nights, campaign, story, moments, I think Marvel Champions is interesting to me because of the theme. That's one of the big consistent through lines. I think that people do enjoy it because of the theme, and we connect and resonate with parts of the theme. I want to know about a time in a game that sticks out in your memories. Like, I just want to hear about it. I love hearing people's stories about like, oh, we had this great game this one time, and here's what happened. So, Chris, tell me about a time playing Marvel Champions that sticks out in your memory. Or I can go
Sure.
first if you want a chance to think, because I definitely have one.
Sure, go for it.
All right, I'll kick it off. Right, so back in the day, it's been several years now. I've moved away, but used to live in Kansas City. There's an awesome group of folks in Kansas City that gets together and plays. They still get together and play every Monday night, and for a long time, we would have like 12 to 16 people in our local game store coming out every Monday night to play from like 6 until around 10. And we often would get a few games in. And at one point, we were like, we haven't done a campaign in a long time, speaking of campaigns. And so we cracked out the Rise of Red Skull. Classic, simplest, most straightforward, easiest to play, familiar, easy rewards and all that. We were like, we're going to play through Rise of Red Skull. So we sat down, we picked heroes, and we stuck with them. We were just like, we're going to play hero, like villain to villain to villain, straight through. And it was awesome. We got rolling with these characters, and it really felt like we had this team of these 4 different heroes that were tackling each of these villains time after time. And we didn't finish the whole thing in one night. We got through to the 3rd villain, so we were playing Taskmaster. And the first 2 weren't too bad, but on this one, we kind of like got stymied a little bit. He was hitting us real hard. We had 2 people that were like on borderline. They could not take a single hit. We were running out of blockers. We had a bunch of encounter cards on the table. And we were like, look, I think we can push and finish him this turn. And so people didn't flip down to heal. The scheme was getting high anyway. We were like, we're just going to go for it. I was playing Miss Marvel. I love Miss Marvel. We had like Captain Marvel at the table too. I think we had Captain America. I don't remember who else we had at the table. But it was a solid, like core classic kind of team. And everybody went all out, and we were like 1 damage short of finishing Taskmaster. And we're like, oh no, like we might legit lose this. And I realized that Red Dagger was on the table. And so first attack, I was like, no, don't defend. They were like, well, I could throw my blocker, but if he has overkill, like I'm toast. And I was like, no, Red Dagger. I'm going to put Red Dagger in front of it. I'm going to block for you. And so he took out Red Dagger. I had the resources. I returned Red Dagger to my hand, did deal damage, finished Taskmaster, ended the game. Like we needed to end anyway. It was already way later than we normally play. It just like, it was so clean and so good. We didn't think we were going to get the win. And like, there it was on the table the whole time. Red Dagger was just waiting for his chance to strike and be a hero. And it was so fun. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, we can do it. Like that moment of recognition of like, I think this game is lost, guys. Like we did our best, but like, I think we lost. And all of a sudden it was like, no, we have a win. There's a way out. We can do it. We can win. Like it was so good. Like it was amazing. So tell me about a time when you had a great time at the table.
All right. Mine's going to be a little bit similar, but it was in even more dire conditions. So this was back in 2022. Myself, my wife, and our son, we went over to England for a trip. And while I was there, I had talked to the folks at By the Same Token, who were based out of England, like, hey, can I bought so many tokens from them and boards and everything. We had chatted and all this stuff. So I'm like, hey, can I stop by your place and see what it is? And they're like, sure, come on down. And my wife wanted to go. She was going to some library archive or something. So I'm like, I'll take my son. We'll go down there. And so while we were there, we played a game with one of the guys, like one of the main guys there, Chris, who was another Chris. But so it was the 3 of us against Claw. He was running War Machine. I was running Miss Marvel, and our son, he plays Hulk. That's pretty much all he plays.
Oh, fine. I love Hulk.
So we're playing this, and both Chris and I got knocked out of the game.
No way.
just my son left with Hulk, and Claw had like 15 hit points, and he was going to thread out in the next turn. So we're like, and it's his turn, and we're looking through his card, like, he had like a drop kick, one of his triple resources, a Hulk smash, and another like junk card. So it's like, there's just not enough. We can't, Hulk smash. If we do the Hulk smash, that'll get him down to like 2, but we won't have enough resources to do drop kick. We do drop kick and then punch. We won't have enough money to do the Hulk smash. Oh, what do we do? And so we're like, okay, well, let's do the drop kick and just hope. And so he did the drop
Under
kick
the
with
cards.
triple resources, which stuns him, not that it mattered, and draws a card. And he top drew his second triple resource card.
Oh man, what a moment.
So like one threat away from losing, both of us have been taken out, and he had such a blast of taking Claw down with the last card, just the shot in the dark, just heart of the cards type thing of top draw that triple resource to Hulk smash Claw out.
That's
That-
fantastic.
That is fantastic. That is epic. What a moment. Good stuff. What about you, Josh? Tell me another time. Maybe one with the guys or from con or whatever strikes your fancy.
So I got one, and it was just funny. So we were playing. This was back at the old gaming code before the flood, and we were in a 4-player game, and I can't remember who we were playing with, but it was one of those villains that had like ping damage in its kit. And it didn't have a ton. It had like 1 or 2 cards that would do, deal 1 damage to your identity, as a boost or as an encounter card, like 1 avoidable damage. And we had seen what we thought were all of them come out.
Mm.
And our buddy Nathan, who
Nathan's
you both have met at Con of Heroes, but
Love Nathan.
last
Yep.
year he will be there. He will be at this Con of Heroes along with Steven from Gaming Co. and Andrew. Some of our other buddies will be there. So tell him I said hi and I love him. But we were playing, and I can't even remember who he was playing. I just remember the situation where he had flipped down, or he was leveraging health. He was about to take a hit, and he was like, okay, I could do this, and it's going to put me at 1 health, but I think I'm safe because I'm putting one health. I can flip down. I'll be all right. I can heal back up next turn. Or I can do a damage or protect or stay up to be able to defend. Or who can do a damage and keep 1 health on. He was playing Venom. That's what it was. He was debating on. I think it was Venom. He was debating on spending.
He wanted to use his resource.
The wild, to take the 1 damage, bring
Yeah.
himself down to 1 health. And I told him, I said, "You listen to me right now." I said, "I don't care how many cards we think." He goes, "We just went through," and he picked up the discard pile and kind of sorted through it and was like, "I don't think he doesn't have any more." I said, "I'm telling you right now, the second you go to 1 health, that card is going to do damage to you. Right now, I'm telling you, Nathan, it knows. The encounter deck is a living, breathing, thinking thing, and it's a monster. And it will kill you as soon as it look at you." And he said, "You think?" I said, "Yes." And so he said, "Okay." And he left himself at 2 health, and by God, did he not? His only encounter card dealt 1 damage to him. And I have been riding that high for 3 years.
That's amazing. I love that.
I got one other one I do got to throw out because it was just super funny. It'll be quick. This was at last year's Con of Heroes. It's playing a game at the hotel, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but it was just super funny. We were fighting.
This is the late night game.
No, this wasn't the late night game.
Oh, this is a different one. This is Zemo. Okay, yeah. Carry on.
The late night game at MCDC was just that was chaos. That was a cluster F. It was a lot of fun, but it was the cleanest game of Marvel Champions 5 people could ever play. And so we were fighting Zemo, and I had 2 encounter cards. My first one, and I was playing with Nanners. Shout out to Nanners if she listens.
Yeah,
and
she's
a couple
great.
other guys, and I cannot remember their names, and I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot your names if you are listening to this. And I had 2 encounter cards, and I flipped one, and it was friend turned foe, or the one that gets a hero out and puts it in front of you as a minion.
Reluctant foe.
Mhm.
Reluctant foe. So I got that one. And so it brought out, and we were like, "Oh man, what do we want? What do we want to get? Let's game it a little bit. Let's see what minion or who we're going to pull." And so we decided to pull Miss Marvel. And so we pulled Miss Marvel out. She was the reluctant foe. And then, and we talked about it for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like, what do we want? Who are we going to pull here? Because this could be bad. Because we were all low health. I was low health. I couldn't take a hit from a minion. And then I flipped we finally decided on Miss Marvel, put Miss Marvel out. I flipped my second card, and it was the one where Zemo kills a minion at the table and does whatever the hell else he does. And so, we flipped Miss Marvel over. Okay, we took forever to we got her on the table. We flipped another over. She's the only minion on the table, and Zemo kills her.
Kills her. Gone. Oh man.
And just thematically in my head, narratively, we were all the time. We laughed for 45 minutes, just because I can envision it. Miss Marvel swings in. All right, I'm sorry, I got to stop you. And Zemo just goes, "Ha!" Just through the
That's awesome.
The second she popped, there was this big lead up to putting her on the table, and then Zemo just kills her, and she's gone.
That's fantastic.
It was good. It was really good.
That's right. That's good. I love that. I love hearing the stories. I don't think we get it. We spend a lot of time talking about the cards and what makes the cards great and stuff. But in fact, what I think is best is the fact that we play with them and then we have fun playing with them together. Yeah. These sort of stories and fun moments that happen, because that's what this creative design has managed to bring into being, are these awesome moments at the table where it's like, no way that just happened, but it did just happen. And it feels right? Like, it feels good. This just feels like...
Can I throw one more out?
Yes.
Just to give shout outs to people in the community. Just to give shout outs to people in the community. And this was at the last MCDC. And the whole crux of the story is watching Hit Buttons, Mike, do 136 damage with Drax in one turn.
In one turn.
Yeesh.
That was... I don't know if he played it right. I assume he didn't. I have no idea. You heard me, Mike. I'm calling you a liar. It was crazy.
I've seen some of those go off before where Drax. I don't think I've seen that much. We had a Drax do, I think, 80 or 90 damage in a turn back in the day in the game group. It was one of those, like, we were just barely staying alive and hanging on by the skin of our teeth. And then the Drax player was like, I'm finally built up. Like, I'm going to attack for 9 damage, and then I do this, and then I ready, and then I attack for 12 damage, and then I'm going to do this, and then I ready, and I draw a card, and then I draw a card. It's like, good Lord. And he just, like, killed the minion, killed the villain. I mean, like, he just kept going until the minion was defeated. It was like a 4-player game. I'm like, holy good Lord. We were here to enable you to do this. That's all.
We were fighting Captain America. It was at MCDC. We were fighting during that first little that day of campaign, and we were fighting Captain America. And poor Captain America, man, like he like, we beat him after like the first 30, and then he was like, "Man, I set up. I think I can do more." I was like, "Keep going. Let's see." Do you guys do that? That's a good question.
That's funny.
Do you all do that? Like, at the end, sometimes. Like, let's see how much the table could do. Mm-hmm. Like, if the first player kills the villain, do you go?
Oh yeah, for sure.
We had?
How much excess damage do we have?
Yeah. Do you do
that? Got to. Make us gone. Our stories put him to bed.
No, I'm still here. Still here, just quietly biding my time in the shadows, waiting to stab you in the back, Scott. Mm-hmm. I mean,
as always,
just enraptured by Josh's stories.
Mm-hmm. I see you clutching that harpoon. Do you do that? Do you count up your damage?
I mean, who doesn't just sit in a corner and play with their harpoon?
I don't think he's going to answer this damn question. We've asked him 4 times.
For counting damage? No, I generally don't do that.
Oh, so you think you're better than us?
No, I don't do those. Like, I tend not to build decks that are like those crazy, I'm going to do 98 billion points of damage in there. So I don't pay that much attention to it. I let other people put those decks out that have giant swings of damage in there a turn.
I just like to see at the end how much total damage we had, I think it's fun. But all right, well, let's let's shift towards wrapping up. I have one more question that you know and one that you don't. So let's start with the one that you don't. I want to hear, what are your thoughts on PvP in the new Civil War box, right? Do you like playing the hero against the heroes as villains if you're in cooperative? And do you like the PvP mode? What are your thoughts? Chris?
You go, Frank.
Me first? All right.
Yeah, you go first.
Full disclosure, I have never played true PvP in Marvel. I am going to Con of Heroes and I'm going to try it once, maybe twice, because honestly, PvP doesn't particularly interest me in this game. I care about it as a cooperative game and getting, playing with friends and having a good time, rather than focus on, oh, we got to beat that team over there. Maybe I'll try it and I'll like it, but it doesn't. I'm not sad that it's out there as an option, but it doesn't really connect with me. As far as the solo, cooperative, just play versus a leader thing, it's fine. Um, I think they did a pretty good job of theming the leaders and their sets and their cards, their leader cards with them. The Iron Man with all the tech stuff, and She-Hulk, and tying it to their hero packs and everything like that. But ultimately, it just feels like another game of Marvel Champions. You've got a villain that you're going against, and they bring out minions and treacheries and things like that. I'm glad they did it, and there's a wonderful, insane amount of encounter sets that we've got added to the game. So now you can have something insane like, oh, we're going to play Mr. Sinister with Daredevil and dinosaurs.
It's true.
Why? How does that make sense? Who knows? But so I'm glad they did it, but I don't get anything special out of the fact that we're going up against a hero.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you there, actually. Iron Man is the most villainous of them. It feels like he still feels like a real villain.
No, I'm gonna beat him up
I
so
feel like when I
often
play him,
over this con weekend. He's going
he's
down.
gonna get beat up a lot. What about you, Josh? What's your take
on PvP and the Civil War heroes?
Yeah.
I mean, PvP, I can tell you or leave it. Like, it's neat. It's neat that it's there as an option. I've played probably 6 or 7 PvP games, and every single one of them I would rather be playing a fully cooperative game of Marvel Champions, but it's fun. It's not that I'm not having fun. It's just I would rather have had fun this other way if it was my choice, but people want to play it, so we play it. I've had some fun little stories from it. There's a few little interactions that are cool with some of the cards where you can frustrate somebody, but I like the not frustrating someone aspect of Marvel Champions. That's why I like playing leadership and protection and Cable. I like to help people. And then as far as like the heroes being villains, I feel like there were a lot more villains they could have visited before they did this. It's cool. It's neat. The art's fun, but it's like Mega said, it's just another game of Marvel Champions to me. It's okay. I like them. I don't dislike any of it. But yeah, it's kind of it. It's a very lukewarm take. I'm okay. I'm different, I guess.
No.
I mean, it's fun. It was
Our hot
fun
take
doing.
is that we're lukewarm.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun doing the 5-player Captain America fighting Captain America. The Oops All Captain America's game. That's fun to do. You do Oops All She-Hulk, Oops All Vision, all that stuff. It's neat, but whatever. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't be sad if we didn't do it.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. I've been trying to play them a lot, and obviously we have not yet discussed these Civil War leaders on the show, so I'm not going to dive into them over much. But my overall feel has just been, it feels a little off. because I'm like, where's the villain? Like, I miss the character of the villains, because other than Iron Man, the other ones just don't. I don't feel like I'm fighting the villain. It just doesn't feel right. Like, it throws the theme for me a little bit. I get it for like PvP, reenact that Civil War. If I'm in that mindset, but then I feel like I have to play heroes that were actually opposed to one another. There's like certain heroes that I want to play against those leaders. Otherwise, I have a hard time getting into the theme of the game, is what I found. Um, to where I'm like, yeah, I'm not super keen. I've played them. I think they're very well designed. I love the art on them. I like seeing that art on the table more. It's cool. I'm a big fan of a lot of those heroes. She-Hulk, I adore. Vision is fantastic. Does not get enough love unless you're talking to Boom Guy. Then he gets a lot of love. Um, so, I loved having them out, but I am with you. I think there's lots of other villains I'm also still really excited to see. So I have not played much of the PvP, but I was just curious what y'all's take was on these heroes stepping into our encounter sets and trying to take charge for a bit.
I wish they were more thematic. Like they are. Like their sets are cool, but
They are.
with the way the main schemes shuffle and with the way they've made the kind of not necessarily homogenized, but made them a little toned down to be able to mix and match them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a giant.
That might be
fan.
part of it. It like steals away the theme a little because they're all the same to agree.
I also think
go ahead,
this one would actually benefit from a campaign structure, because you're telling the story of Civil War, of either you're there, you're with Iron Man, we gotta lock these guys down and all this stuff, or no, that's awful, we gotta fight against it. It's a series of 6 like standalone scenarios. Meh. I mean, again,
Yeah.
happy they did it. I'm glad I got them. Bunch of fun encounter sets in there now, but it's just eh.
Do you think there's a little bit of
no,
cognitive
I hear it.
dissonance? But there's a little bit of
I think
cognitive
there is.
dissonance on our part
For me.
for saying, "Hey, we all said, yeah, we play the campaign like once or twice." And then here we're like, this would have been better if there was a campaign.
If there was a campaign. Well, it's what Chris was saying, though, that with the other ones, even when you don't play the campaign, there is a through line of a story that imbues these encounter sets. And even when you don't play them in that, they kind of fit within it. And so there's this framework, I think, that we can process them through. Whereas here, you don't have that framework. It's like random. So you almost kind of need to build it to give it more structure, to make it feel the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I think some of it to me too is there's not as much variation, right? The first themes all have a thread of 7. The second ones all have a thread of 9, right? There's some consistency in there that is necessary for a PvP style game, but it isn't what I'm used to playing. I'm used to more variation and having different, like some of that variation of the encounter sets. There's some, but it's not the same. And I think there's a dissonance for me that these cards, they have a different intent from their design for 2 goals, not just one. And so it's different. I think they did a phenomenal job creating something that can do both, because it can. And my experience with PvP is very limited, but it's been really fun so far. So I do like some of the interactions and these cool things where it's like, oh, when this minion hits the table, it takes an upgrade off of the leader I'm fighting and makes my life easier. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. So there were some really cool moments there, but that they've managed to create. So they did a really good job. And I think there are probably a lot of people who have absolutely loved that. I have just found that I don't resonate as much with it, which it's like the first time for something in Marvel Champions where I'm like, I get it. It's cool. It's fun. I love what they did, but I'm not finding myself drawn to it as much as I am to some of these other heroes or some of these other encounter sets. I got to get some of my other encounter sets out. I want to dabble back in those some more. I want to play me some Zemo, I want to play some the Hood or something. So
And that's the joy of the game, is that you
that
don't
is.
have to love every part of it. You can just say, "Hey, I'm not going to play these Civil
That's
War
right.
things," or I hate mutants, so I'm not going to worry about the mutant genesis or next evolution or
And that's quite all
something
right.
like that. Yep.
So wrapping up finally, I want to hear, give me a villain mod set combo our listeners should take on that's credit to our villainous name. Let's leave them with something to aspire to as rising villains. Josh, what do you got?
I already gave mine. I would take Juggernaut, take Savage Land, Sauron, and then you know what? Just to help it, throw in Armadillo and Scorpion. Throw them all in there.
4 mod sets.
And go at it. Yeah,
I love it.
Armadillo and a mess of things, and fight the big bruiser in the jungle with a giant man scorpion, pterodactyl monster, and dinosaurs thrown at it. Take the damn T-Rex out of Temporal and put it in there too. Hell, get some star sharks. Do what? Just have a good time. Just have fun. I'm not your dad. You do whatever you want.
That's right. I love it. Good one. What about you, Chris?
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm copying, because mine, I call it the Brute Squad. So it's Juggernaut, it's Armadillo, and it's a Wrecking Crew out of the hood. So they're all brute traded. All the minions are Armadillo and the Wrecking Crew are all elite. You know, Armadillo hands out tough to all his friends, all the minions and villains, and then he's got a couple treacheries where it's like, oh, everybody with the tough status card activates against you.
Have you thought about like Mr. Hyde?
Yeah, I was going to say that, Josh. I was going to say that.
But he doesn't actually have a lot that triggers off of the brute, whereas
he doesn't.
Where like the Wrecking Crew then also has each, what is it? So what is it? Like each elite minion in play activates against the player it's engaged with. Give each brute enemy a tough status card, and if there are no brute enemies in play, which against Juggernaut there always would be, you go fetch one. And then if that's in play, and then you give them a tough status card, all of a sudden you can give what is it? Each enemy with a tough status card attacks you. Can you imagine having like Juggernaut, Armadillo, and one or two Wrecking Crew out, and you hit that?
And they all attack you.
Because because Armadillo isn't villainous, but I believe all the Wrecking Crew are.
Yeah, I think they are in that set.
So it is. They have a lot of hit points to get to chew through as well.
It's like 6
all
to
the
8,
time. All the while that Juggernaut is trying to steamroll you.
Nice. I love it. Well, I'm going to leave them with one that isn't Juggernaut, because we got to mix things up. I'm going to recommend that they go back to that Sinister Motives box and play Venom, but spice him up with something a little new. I want you to play Venom, but add in some of the mod sets from Civil War, like the Dangerous Recruits, the Thunderbolts, maybe Cloak and Dagger, or the Defenders. There's a bunch in there that have a ton of boost effects. And when Venom is getting all these extra boost cards, why not throw some cards in there? They're going to have some vicious boost icons all up in them. So go get those sets. I think the Thunderbolts and Dangerous Recruits are fairly fitting. We've got Venom is in one of those, and Bullseye's in there, and some real nasty dudes. Get them in that Venom set where he's getting them as boost cards, and those boost effects can really go wild on you for attacking Venom. So that's my recommendation.
Nice.
Well, thanks for joining me, gentlemen, and sharing your innermost secrets and thoughts about the heroes, aspects, and villains and encounter sets in Marvel Champions. For those of you out there who have joined us on this show, if you want to tell us who your 3 heroes are to play, if you want to answer these questions and tell us a little bit about yourselves, we'd love to hear it. You can email us at criticalencounterspod, criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Winkster, Maka, and Lexicon.
If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, kiss my ass. Dormammu, take us out.
Now, come, my murderous minions. Follow in the paths of the Dread One.
I mean, I feel like following in the path of the Dread One now.
I will hear what you do.
I'll be honest.
I feel obligated.
I mean,
You kind of got it.
I mean, yeah.